The CRKT Fossil is a series of knives that come with either serrated or plain edge blade. It comes in two different lengths, comes in a number of different styles. This is the longer one with the plain blade, obviously, and I have absolutely fallen in love with this thing. It was about a little under 60 bucks at Knife Center. I think the original retail price was 90. The blade material is fairly standard 8 CR13 MOV that CRKT uses for a lot of their lower range stuff. Still very good metal. I've used it on other blades and I like it quite a lot. I like how it sharpens and how it works. But the look of this thing is impressive to start with, and it also feels amazing. The stainless steel frame has a very extremely heavy media blast on it. So after the molded or molded in shape was applied, that very pitted shape, they blasted it to make it extremely smooth on all edges, so nothing feels like it's going to catch. They've got this two-tone G10, which is interestingly milled to give it kind of almost a coral kind of look. That's just nice. It's also fairly smooth. It does have some sharp looking edges, but nothing really bugs me on it as far as, places where my finger gets caught, except right here at the very tip, at the very end. That's a little bit sharp, so I will file that down. It's very thick. It has a pretty thick blade, but a big old FRP backstop back here, I believe is what that is. And there's also a nice smooth kind of stonewash finish belt clip for it. But the ergonomics on this thing are stellar, at least for me, for my hands. My goodness. I mean, you don't have much height here, but you've got a nice amount of curve. You've got different indents, and it just wants to be in my hand forever. I can actually bring it back here, and it still feels secure for if I want to use it for chopping. I get a nice secure hold on it. It doesn't want to twist away from me easily. It's fantastic how much control I can feel in this handle. The balance is pretty good, but it's mostly just about the control of the physical connection between meat and metal and G10 in this case, which for me has been unmatched. Nothing else that I have put in my hands ever, not just stuff that I've owned, but that I've tried out at knife shops. Nothing has fit my hands better than this. And the blade shape is nice. It's got belly for days. It is slightly recurved. It's one thing that I don't like about this sort of design. It came dangerously sharp right out of the package. I mean, this does not need to be honed. I could hone it if I want to, but these things they're just fine. And it's very similar in many ways to my Klecker lock knives. And I think this graphite is one that I haven't even done a video on yet, but similar overall designs. You can just feel and see the kind of familial connection between them with their overall shapes. I think that this one's probably the farthest away just in its design, because it has the very thin handle and it has a lot of height, but they still have a similar movement to it and similar philosophy used to get a good amount of control. But this one here, yeah, if I was a knife and I wasn't already married, I would marry this. This one I want to carry and hold and use more than anything else that I've had to date. And yet, it's a frame lock design. I mean, it's got these large scales here, and typically I don't work very well with frame locks. I tend to end up, while trying to deploy, I tend to end up squeezing the lock and holding the blade in place when it's folded up. But because of the scale there, it doesn't really do that for me at all. As I try to get a good grip on the thing, I'm gripping the scale, not the frame. So deployment, and this has the very nice bearings in it, but deployment is a snap and doesn't feel like a frame lock system to me. It feels like a liner lock system. Even when you're unlocking it, it feels like a liner lock. So pretty much everything about this, to me personally, is good. Could use fancier blade material, of course. just bump up the price. I think they should do. Sorry about this. I don't even know what that packing material is, keeps moving around, but I think they probably should do some special edition versions of this with higher grade blade material, just because this is something really good. I'm not sure what other people think. It's going to be different for different people's hands, but for me, this is just about as good as it gets to date for me personally, for something to actually hold and use.